Hello. Hi,
Hello.
everyone. Please, hello, everyone. Please welcome my guest, Psychic Nathe. There's his information. It's also down below. He is the creator of this deck that we're going to be talking about. And then we have in the book, and then we have Tarot Stash Gerald right here, who this is
Hello.
on his channel as well. And then we have Jaime Wandering Bardic Mountain, no, Mountain Bardic Path.
Really, Jane? Really?
I got some bubble gum stuck in my mouth. Sorry.
Good morning. Wandering Mountain Bardic Path. Hi.
And who the hell are you?
I'm sorry. And I'm Jane the Seeker.
Yes.
Jane the Seeker Tarot.
Mm-hmm.
So, and yeah, so let's do this. Look, I would say hi to everybody in chat, but I'm going to say hello, everybody in chat. We have a lot to chat about. We have Nate here. This is for entertainment purposes only. And I think instead of saying hello to everybody personally, I just really want to say hello, welcome, thank you for being here. And yes, and any questions you have about the deck, be sure you can put your question in the chat and I will try and find it. So I think I'd like to start out by everybody just saying hello. So
morning.
Hi, and thank you for having me. Yes, I really appreciate the opportunity to chat with you. This is actually the first time I have some sort of live conversation about the deck on a group level live. So I'm really excited.
Oh, well,
that's good.
Yeah, that's okay. I hope you really like what we, how this goes, because
I hope we ruin you.
That's right.
We do have opinions and likes and dislikes and all that kind of stuff. So
wonderful. Yes.
Okay. All right. So first off, Nate, I would love for you to introduce yourself, and then I'd like to hear a little bit about your the deck, how you came to do this deck and meet up with that particular artist that you chose. And if you could just talk a little bit about that, that would be great.
Wonderful. So yes, I am Psychic Nathe. I've always been reading cards. I remember really having, clairvoyance flashes when I was young, as a child. I remember that I started reading cards, playing cards, when I was around 8 or 9 years old. So I already had a passion for it very early on. And through my, to my years of, development, I've always, developed my cartomancy, psychic skills, etc. I should say that I was born in France. I live in the US for 20 years. I'm back in Europe now. And actually, this is part of, when I, always been, an intuitive, working with cards, doing readings for friends, family, even sometimes, with paying readings for consultants or clients, but never really fully professionally. I had a job that I left in 2020 during the pandemic when I went back to Europe. And since it's been now 3 years since 2020, I am doing, as a psychic, as a reader, professional readings. And you've been very kind to put my link. So if people want to see some of that, it's available. And because this was my, my passion, my calling. I've always been really, fascinated by the occult and the ability to find answers, from the spirit, from intuition, all the synchronicities, all of that. And then very quickly, kind of to get to the deck, I've always felt like I needed to do a project. What could be this big project that I could do? And that starting point, there was really two starting points. One was, well, I actually find it very hard to find decks that really resonate with me. That was the starting point. I love a lot of them. I use a lot of them, but I never really had one that I felt like, wow, this is the one that's talking so well to me. So I kind of came to the conclusion that I should create a deck for myself. Very selfish, but I wanted to create a deck for myself that I could read very well, that would connect with me, and that would actually make my reading stronger. So it was for me, but it was also for the consultants, the people reading, getting the reading. And then I thought, well, and maybe that would be a second step. I could sell it, I could promote it. Maybe other people would be interested, but the starting point was like, I'm just going to do it for me. That's going to be kind of what I'm going with this. So it's an interesting take. Then the other part was that I was raised Catholic, but this was not meant to be a religious deck, even though it has the saints. I really want to kind of make that very clear, that in my spiritual process, I've been reminded of the spirits of the saints, some of them, not all of them, that have really, made a connection with me through synchronicities, through, even kind of like basic prayers or connections. But it's not being religious, it's more the spirit behind it that I was really, and so some people I know from the deck have this apprehension that it is religious. No, it's spiritual. It's about the energy, the meaning, and actually the fact that I connected the saints with the tarot is actually the proof that it's not religious. It's taking a different way. Okay.
This is proof too, though, Nate, because
yes,
this will dispel
yes,
any religion kind of thing.
yes,
Purchase responsibly, people, but this is amazing.
has a lot.
We'll get
Has
there.
a lot. Yes. So I was like, okay, let's go. Let's do this deck that will have a theme of the saints, but also lots of secrets. That's why the book calls the secrets, because if you don't have the book, and yes, we'll get into that, you missing out a lot of information that I couldn't. And actually, to tell you the truth, the book itself, I had to cut down a lot of material, and it's about 200 pages, and it's a
I want the
simplified
full version.
Yeah.
I want all of it.
What?
Give it to me now.
And so it also explains why we'll talk a little bit about some of the disappointment with the guidebook. I got the feedback that, well, it's not as much. It's there. It's very small. I know all of this. I'm disappointed by all this, but it was such a condensed version of an enormous amount of work that resulted to this situation.
Nate,
The next,
I'm missing pages. I only have 167 pages. Come on now. Sorry, go ahead.
And then the next step was, okay, but I need images. I'm not an artist. I'm actually terrible at drawing. Like really, really, this is not my thing.
You
I
are
really,
an artist.
really, in that way, yes.
Oh,
But not,
and Jaime is coming in for you, Nate.
but I need an artist that's going to be very hard. I was really worried about working with an artist that can have that same vision. That I was worried.
Yeah.
And kind of the theme here is just follow your heart. I mentioned that I was not connecting to all my decks, or I didn't really have a deck that I connected to, but the one that I always felt connected the most was the Universal Celtic.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And then when I actually look at this, I said, well, I love the art on this. Wouldn't it be nice if the artist would work with me on my deck? This would be fantastic.
Mhm.
And so I just contacted her. I just contacted Christina. The fun part is that she doesn't really speak English. I don't speak Italian. She's Italian. We did this project not speaking the same language.
Lovely. That's
Wow.
awesome, though.
I love that.
That level of
Yeah.
that's like higher energy really
Mhm.
came in.
And I started to, I mean, of course, she was using Google Translate and things like
Sure.
that, but back and forth. And so we started to talk. I'll be honest, like we did this, there was no contract, it was just based on trust.
Mhm.
Okay. Which is it's a big investment,
Yes.
but it was trust all the way. And as she started, so I was writing, and as I was writing, she was starting to create, and the more she was creating, the more it was very clear that it was my vision. I can't say, we had maybe out of 78 cards, maybe 2 disagreements. And when I said disagreements, it's different views. Like it's not an argument or anything, but it's just like I see it more this way, you see it more that way. And I was also very clear. There was another principle that we are going to co-create. I'm not the author, you are the artist, you do what I say. That's not how I work. I want this to be a co-creation.
Nice.
So if you're not fully on board, then I'm not wanting to go further. And so that's why maybe there are a couple cards in there that I would have chosen a different maybe illustration, but maybe two. And so I feel that this was a complete success from that standpoint. And then this is kind of everything started and went to life.
Nice. That's
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah. And then I was given the deck as a gift, and because I work with angels and ascended masters, and I just really liked it. I got on board with it, and I use it, and I often say I am not a Christian. So I'm not, but I do believe in Jesus and Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary. Like I believe in parts of the story. I just
Yes.
don't take the Bible. So not to offend anybody who is a Christian, because I think everybody should do their own thing. But that's just me. As a non-Christian, I use the deck all the time.
Yeah.
I understand. I am glad that you understand the nuance there. We discussed that right away when we talk about the deck, because I think it's more of a spiritual idea than a religious idea.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Yeah. So let's now that you've talked about that, and I was wondering how you met the artist and how you figured that out, because they are beautiful cards.
Beautiful.
They really are. They're absolutely beautiful. So let's Gerald, I don't have my sheet in front of me of the order of which we shall go, but let's talk about cardstock for a minute. And also I want to mention your box. I am a sucker for a good box. I love a good box. And I think, for this is a great box.
Yep.
And I love how it doesn't have the thumb holes, but it doesn't need thumb holes. The lid doesn't go all the way down. So for me, I love the box.
Thank you. And it's Christina. I mean, I found the box, but the artwork and the organization of the box is from Christina's artwork. Yes.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, and there's her name right there, Christine
Yes.
Scagliotti.
I think what really helps as well is she has. No, this is funny because I come from northern France, and it's a very Celtic culture, which obviously connected with me with the universal Celtic. But Christina, being Italian, she brought a lot of the Italian Renaissance into the deck. Yes, and that I think is just amazing. Yes.
I agree.
Yeah, agree. And also everybody should know that the deck does come with a little white book. So we talk about the little white book. It's jam-packed full of information. It is a bit hard to read.
It's not a bit hard to read. It's hard to read, Nate. I'm just saying.
Yes.
So,
yeah,
I know.
and there is some typos. I just happened. I pulled a card the other day, and I was like, all right, because I'm going to look it up. And the King of Swords is not correct in here. You have the.
It is true. It is true, and I would say I mentioned it right away. This is my biggest disappointment. It has been the guidebook. Frankly, when you look back at the project, this is a miss on my part. This is the part that I focus on last and gave me the most trouble. I spent 2 full weekends to redo it because the version that I had before was even smaller than this one.
Ooh.
Just a suggestion. There we go. We got a fan thwarp.
Nate, because
I know
the book, the large book, which is available. It's available through Amazon. It's a print on demand.
Yeah.
And I mean this. I mean, come on. This is great. This has got a lot of information. And now the fact that you let Jaime know that there's more.
I want more.
I want more. I want more.
I want the other 100 pages, sir.
I want this to come in a package.
Right.
Thingy, like a gift. You know what I mean? Get everything together in a box is what I want. But
can we do one thing? Can we go back to the cardstock?
Yes, please.
Okay, so very shuffleable for somebody that has messed up hands a lot. The backs are beautiful. The cardstock is good. Okay, so think superior smooth in a sense. If this deck, and I know Nate, just hear me out, okay? If this deck were on linen and were edged like I edged it with a matte brown
linen card finish.
Wow.
I would say I don't think that I would ever put it down. At least maybe every other use. It would be in.
That makes a lot of sense. Yes.
Because these images would be glorious on linen.
Yes.
Yes.
But there's nothing wrong with the cardstock. It's very shuffleable. Very nice for people that have messed up hands like me sometimes. Little shiny, honey, but very nice.
Thank you. The suggestion is very good. Thank you. Yes.
Gerald, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and for the it's 2 3/4 inches by 4 3/4 inches, and how that compares is they are the same size. I do think I like the edges, the corners on yours better.
Yeah, they're deep.
They're deeper. They're a little deeper.
Mm-hmm. So, I have to point out real fast. Beth says we need to have a drinking game with Jaime every time she says linen.
I thought I was going to be yes. And then,
Sorry,
and also, there's a part. That's the linen one. Also, however, you cannot beat. Yeah, you can't beat Nate's price on this deck, which is why I think that it would be really good if, in a combo pack, like, but anyways, that's just my.
I will also mention something else, because I mean I'm really open to discuss about the good and the bad and the ugly. I have also received just one feedback, but I feel that it was valid. That the back, you can see that it's not symmetrical. You see like this little piece here. You don't have the shining here. You don't have it at the bottom.
Right.
Okay. And the consequence of that for one person, but I could imagine more, is that when you shuffle, you can see it from the back if it's reversed or not.
Okay, so no disrespect to that person. No shade, no disrespect. Total valid opinion. Okay. We're looking at the front of the cards, folks.
I don't read the back of the card, but I do understand what that person is saying.
Totally.
Me too.
Completely.
I'm not dismissing. I'm just saying.
Me too. It was, I took an interesting comment. I'll be also, it was something that I didn't think about because I don't use reversals
I don't
myself.
Yes, that's a good point, Nate. That's a very good point. Jaime, did you show your okay, because it does not come edged.
No.
Jaime edged it. So do share that.
Yep.
Soft brown combo 969. It's water-based. It turned out beautifully. There's no bleeding with this kind of cardstock. So, just have the back down, this side down, and edge away. And the brown turned out really well. It matches the back. It matches the edge on the bottom, which is really what I wanted. With decks like this, so this is another thing for folks that you're not reading the back, you're not reading the side. But for me, the white space, I see that when I'm doing things, and I don't like it. So I modify almost all my decks, almost all, not all, but almost all. And so this makes it very seamless for me, for my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like that. And this is a really good brown.
And on that point, it is true that it crossed my mind. So another part was like, I wanted to do an affordable deck. That was also very important, but it did cross my mind to do more of a premium one, the same one, but more on the premium side. But so those ideas are good. Would that become premium?
Yeah. No, this is delightful. This is just, when you look at, everybody has an opinion, everybody has personal preferences. You're not going to meet them all. You have to do what you're envisioning and to get your creative everything out there. This is a beautiful way to do that. Now, if you decide to do a premium version, you got this version and you got the one that Jaime's going to say, okay, let's go.
And I have to just say, I think it would be, for me, I think it would be good to have two decks. And it might be something that we'll get into because of all of the use of the cards for rituals and manifestation purposes.
Love that. Hello.
And I'm like,
and you're spot on there, because I can't tell you the number of people who bought two for that exact reason.
Yes.
And I didn't know that before I got the deck. I was like, wait a second, I need to have a second one. So, because I want to do the things. I want to do the rituals you have in there. The manifestations. But I don't want my deck of cards, I don't want to put it with a glass of water on it, or, some of the things that I read. I was like, okay. I'm going with that, but yeah.
Okay, so we'll talk about the guidebook or the extra book, The Secrets of the Mystical Tarot of the Saints, in a little bit. Stay with us, everybody. All of the best chatters are here. They're watching. Jane, how many people are watching, just to give Nate an idea of who we're reaching?
Right now we have 26. It's been going up and down, and I expect a lot of people to watch after.
So
Awesome.
I just want to draw your attention to that, Nate, because people are learning about the deck, and then with Tuesdays with Tarot Stash, Jane and I will both be using it. So and the fact that we're talking about the deck creation, it's really, I mean, it's good, because not everybody who tunes in are readers.
Yeah.
So they come in. So so there's, if you can see the chat, there's people who there's a request for a small deck, a mini version. So I don't know how this would go on a mini, because there's such good detail, Nate.
Yeah, I would hate to lose that because they are so gorgeous. Yeah. And a linen mat I would be like so happy. But
so
I am
give us all the pages, and
we're not trying.
The last few pages are so expensive.
So can I comment on Rossi's comment real fast? So Rossi says it reminds me of prayer cards for different Catholic saints. So yes. I was telling Jane, so I was raised in an interesting household, Jewish, Catholic, and then the pagan side. So it was a conglomeration. So I always called myself, as a little first grader, a Jew-Atholic, which the nuns did not like. But I have, and I don't, this is my divination room, and I don't have it available to me. If I had thought about it, I would have dug it out. But I have very nicely done saint trading cards, basically, and they're in little baseball card trading sleeves. So it's a whole notebook of saints, some of which most people would never have heard of, Dymphna and the whole nine. And yes. So you would go through, and of course, as a younger person, I didn't know anything about bibliomancy or anything like that. But you would flip through, and then you would stop, and then you would say the prayer on the back of the card, and you would go and learn about that saint, right? So that was the whole idea. So this kind of trips me back to that, which I love. I'm done now.
Thank you. Yeah. I know you probably have your list. There's definitely an interest for me to hear from you, and I don't know if it's the right time, so we can do that anytime. Were you surprised by some of the associations of the saints with the different tarot cards?
No, I wasn't surprised at all. No.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so I'll tell you the truth, and I'm not the director of the show, but legit, there is one card that I dislike, and it's not the art. It's the saint.
Ooh.
So there you have it. Out of all of these cards, the one card that I will still use, but I could burn an effigy. I'm
very curious. Who?
I don't know if it's the appropriate time to tell you who.
You brought it up.
Yeah, you brought it up, so do it.
It's Paul.
Tell me the card so I can hold it up, Jane.
It is the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords. I like the card. I like the art. I think that, this is my personal opinion, folks. Do not slay. I personally think that he's the beginning of, or part of, misogyny and the and putting down of women, and that women deserve to be in a certain place and not part of the intellectual conversation or part of spirit or all of those things. So I won't say bad words, but he makes me angry.
So it's the saint.
Yeah, the saint, not the
Well,
art, not. But
Yes,
the book does save it. Okay, I will say, but yeah.
Paul. Yep, I understand.
yeah, and people are agreeing with you. But yeah,
So, Nate, I want to support you for a moment. 78 opportunities to to get under Jamie's skin, and you only did it once. That speaks volume. And also,
I have a reputation, Nate. Sorry.
I mean, but think about it. It's that's good. That's really good. Because
Yes.
I've done a
Oh.
lot of these deck casuals with Jamie and other people, and it's like, oh, I had to narrow it down to 5 that I didn't really like. And
One card.
so,
One
but
card.
and the fact and also, Nate, I'm heaping praise in your general direction. I hope that's okay.
Appreciate
So
it.
am I. Yeah,
I
don't get me
appreciate it.
wrong.
No.
Oh,
I mean, it's open book here, so
Yeah.
And the fact that she was able to go, and here's why.
What?
It's clearly it's not you, it's the
Oh
saint.
no. Yes. And when it came to do the association, this actually is a part that was very quick on my part. I didn't really. It was more. I can't even explain the process. A few cards made me pause and think. If you think of how we're gonna deal with death, how we're gonna deal with the devil, those are very tricky ones.
Excellent job, though.
Oh, they
Yeah.
are good.
Nate,
They're
let me
really
tell
good.
you just really super quick. So I come from a household of a woman, my mother, who was a scholar. I have read, and I have a collection of Bibles that rivals many theologians. I have read it in different languages. I have read it in all the different iterations, right? So I come by my dislike, honestly. So this is lovely. I mean, and the whole heaping praise in your general direction. If this is me personally, it's delightful.
Yes.
It is delightful. You did your work, and that's why I said none of this surprises me, because this is work.
Yes.
Work.
Oh, yes. I know it is.
Jamie, hold up the side of your deck or your book, because this is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overachiever.
It's highlighted. It's all the things I write in everything. I don't hold this stuff precious because it has to be workable, and I want things to pop, especially when I'm reading your words and something goes, oh, so yeah.
Have you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jane.
No, I was just going to say I do have a question about the devil card. Since
Yes.
we're kind of talking about it, and and because I'm not religious, but I do. I was wondering why with the devil you just call him the fallen angel and not Lucifer, and that might just be my misunderstanding of religion and all of that and how that happened. And I know that Lucifer was a fallen angel. So I'm wondering about that choice.
Because for me, maybe it's a simplistic answer, but for me, they all are a form of angels. And so I wanted to say that even though what obviously happened to him, he is an angel that fell.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I was very happy, and I don't really remember the discussion about the cross being upside down, but for me, the fact that he has the cross reminds ourselves that he has the angel side, but reverse, because he fell on the wrong side of the road, so to speak.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But there was a positive nature, um, and the idea that he can surrender himself, and and when I say he, they, right, I feel it's also, I mean, there's a whole discussion here um on other feedback that I got, but I leave that for in a little bit, about representation and things like that. But to answer specifically your question, I wanted to make a point that this is the angel coming first.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's articulate.
Yeah. And Rossi, I agree with you, but it's not a standout. It doesn't, like, for divination purposes, it just doesn't stand out for me, but I agree with you. Sorry. Sidebar.
One question that I got, I'm curious to hear your thoughts there about the decision to associate the Fool with Saint Expedite.
Oh, the fool with the
Did you understand, or did that make sense to you? Because the reason I ask is some people say I don't understand.
I understand.
Say more why you understand, Jamie.
Sure, put me on the spot. I was sorry. I went.
My name is Gerald. I'm Tarostash. Of
Yeah,
course, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah, you're my favorite person. So there's a point in the book where you talk about the urging to go forward. If you look at the contrast between the cape and the armor, and there's procrastination with him, but there's also moving forward with him. There's a little bit of a leap of faith with him.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense to me.
Yep, I that is true. My thought, the thought that came right away is that it's about when you are traditionally, people will pray or ask Saint Expedited to do something for
That's
them.
right.
It's to resolve something really, really quickly.
Yep.
In my case, a slight detour here. It's one Sunday, the electricity in my apartment went down, and I put a red candle and asked Saint Expedited to help me, and an electrician showed up at the door.
Mm,
Wow.
But aside from that, yes, aside from that, the idea was time is now. Like, this is what the Hodi says. It's here, it's now. So if time is now, then it's zero.
mhm.
Then it's here, it's now,
Yeah.
it's right away. And so it's not even one, it's now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the idea.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a stretch, but it was kind of the idea.
I don't think so, though.
Yeah.
I really don't think so. There's a line in your book, for the less experienced initiates, the first contact with the Fool can seem quite abrupt and sometimes even completely volatile. However, it's never without a solid reason and a good lesson. And I mean, that just pushes that whole, like,
Yes.
you know what I mean? So,
Yes.
I mean, it goes with the whole St. Anthony, Tony, something's lost, can't be found, that the whole little rhyme that goes with him. So I don't know. I think you explain it well.
Well, and I do want to add on to that. One of the great things about the book, because Dolly was asking, the book is separate.
Mm-hmm.
It is worth the money,
Mm-hmm.
is what I will say.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the use of this card of the Fool for rituals and manifestation purposes, that's one of the benefits of this book, because every card has that. You go, well, here you go. Here's how you use it. And that just makes my little tarot stash heart go thumpa, 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 thumpa. I love that.
Exactly.
And
that is so important, Gerald. Thank you for bringing that up. I didn't mention that when I created the deck, I wanted it not just for not just for prediction, but also for manifestation and rituals. Because maybe the frustration with tarot, if you use it, I imagine when you use it with someone you read for, you describe a situation, you can put some suggestions, guidance, but what people want is a solution to their problem. And so it's like, well, here is something you can do. It doesn't work all the time, but the energy will help you.
Yes. Well, and because you did talk about that. Jane, I'm riffing off on this. My apologies. Shut me up. Good luck. But, because you talk about in the introduction, you talk about 3 traditions from which you were pulling to create the deck. Love that. I love overlaying things. And I think it's one of those things where we have all of the majors have a saint associated with them. All of the court cards have a saint associated with them. So it's not, you're not inundated with the saints per se.
No.
You are, there's a beautiful balance. And I'm like going, okay. And so there's this beautiful layer of this, you say, this is the foundation of any alchemic practice, tarot, astrology, or spell work. So you've layered those 3 aspects. Not everybody does the saints. It's okay. However, I will tell you, saints, you can find, saints, there's a variation of them in many, many spiritual practices. I love that. I geek out of that. Out on that.
So you bringing that up, Gerald, can I go back to Rossi's comment about the 3 of Staffs and how that is a card that they don't like? And the reason, I just wanted to explain really fast because you just touched on it. So the majors and the court cards have the saints on them. And the reason I was able to blow by Columbus and not really invest in that travesty of things is that it's not spelled out for me, if that makes sense. It doesn't, and I'm looking at the meaning of the card, not the person, if that makes sense. And that's the reason why I did not pull that card, but I got exactly where you were going and why.
Go ahead, Jane.
And what's interesting is I like excuse me, I'm so sorry. I like this card.
I do too.
I feel like the person is guiding the ship in. It's like you're not just standing there waiting for your ship to come in. You're like you're out there in the water and you're bringing that ship in. And I like that about that card.
I appreciated the different perspective, because usually we see the person's back and we see the ships in the distance, and instead that happens several times in this, Nate. The perspective is different, which got me out.
Yep. Kind of around the same topic, with kind of more, how does this deck fits kind of socially in our culture and the way that society has evolved. I have also received the feedback that it's not a deck that's very inclusive or diverse, from the different elements of representation. And it is true. It is true. But there are certain elements that are not just the complete traditional Renaissance. For example, If you look at the King of Coins, Saint Balthazar, the Star, the Three Kings, even Jesus, I really wanted to put a strong Middle East influence in those cards.
Mhm.
And so, to show that, we're looking here, even with the Hierophant here. This is not traditional. Sorry, the Hermit. This is not traditional Renaissance biblical type stuff from the Italian side of the Renaissance side. So that to me, I wanted to. I also wanted to really have a very strong emphasis on Saint Sebastian, which is an LGBTQ ally, and the fact that the way that I love this card actually on the Hangman. For me, this is one that I like the most. It has the sense of different perspectives, support the sacrifice almost. Yeah, this one talks a lot to me. Yes.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah. One of the things that I do want to bring up is strength in this card is 11,
Mhm.
and justice is 8.
8.
So just so that people are aware of that.
Yeah.
And chalices, coins, staffs, and swords are the naming of the suits. And for those of you who are playing at home, there are 19 cards that are facing left. The people are facing left. 18 cards where people are facing center. 24 cards where the people are facing right. And 17 cards where there is a combination of people. Nate, sorry, that's my overachiever geeky self. So
Thank you. I never thought of looking at it this way, so that's very interesting. Thank you.
and they're borderless except the bottom. There is a bottom border that is consistent throughout.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So
I like consistency.
I like consistency too.
Yeah.
So are we
Oh,
to the part
actually-
of sorry, are we to the part of the game where we talk about our favorite cards? Huh?
I was about to ask that. So yes, I would really like to hear from you and the audience.
Look at this.
Okay. I stuck to the 10, even though
Oh,
I needed
hell
more.
no. 1,
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
14. Okay. How many do you have,
We don't have
Gerald?
to show them all, but
Well, I wrote them all down, so I can go. I'm flexible.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, Jamie, why don't you start with the ones?
Okay. So my birth card is the High Priestess. And I have been an animal rescuer for a very long time. I do wildlife rescue as well. My area of expertise is pigeons, believe it or not. So this card has a dove, which is a pigeon, pigeon family. Everything about this card screams me. And when we did a deck interview, this is where you know that something's meant to be in your hands, because I have 2 birth cards, 11 and 2. And when we did our interview spread, Gerald and I and another friend, my numbers from my spread were 11 and 2. So, yeah. So this card, my camera, that's why Gerald is showing it. My camera doesn't show all the detail, but there's a cross in the background. There's some beads, like the rosary, the moon, the white roses, the pigeon, dove, however you want to look at it. This is one of my favorite cards.
So you must be happy that's the one I chose for the cover of the book.
I'm very happy.
Well, yeah.
I am very happy.
I work with Mary Magdalene. That's why I've so.
And I have to tell you, when I created the book, it was my first time I was created a book. on print on demand using the Amazon upload, and I couldn't figure out how to put the photo on the front page, and it ended up being in the book like that, where you see on both sides, and actually it ended up worked out perfectly, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
is actually literally like a mistake, or it ended up, it's like one of those
Divine
things that ended up
intervention.
fantastic. Yes.
Yeah, no, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a mistake, or I can't get it to go this way, and it turns
Yes.
out like this.
No, I know.
Take your mistakes, sir.
I know.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great. That is great.
I can't. Okay.
All
Go
right,
on.
kids, what do you got?
Okay. What you got, Gerald?
Okay, so this is a funny little thing. I'm a fan of the Chariot,
Mhm.
and I'm a fan of the Chariot because I went to St. Christopher. That was the
Oh.
church that we went to. So this is a personal memory. There was a statue in front of the church that we were the St. Christopher Travelers for our sports team. So I get this, and it just makes me happy.
I still have, I shared this with Gerald, but I still have mine and my brother's St. Christopher medals that my mom gave us when we were going to Catholic school to Sacred Heart here where I live. So I still have those medals. They have blue enamel and they still look pristine. Yeah. Yes, sir. Exactly so.
Yeah. We used to give the boys used to give them to us when we would go steady in elementary school. We would wear
No kidding. Well, Christopher, get it, man.
Is there a St. Andrew card?
No.
Nope. Sorry, Beth. Hi, Beverly S. Okay,
Hi,
Jane, what do you have?
Okay. Well, I have so many. Okay. I like this 9 of staffs. I like it because I like it
too.
Yeah, I like her because like she's got the skull there. It's like she's got the protection. She's put up the boundary and kind of reinforced it. Yeah, I'll just let Gerald. My camera is the same. And she's waiting, and she's got her staff in her hand, and she's got the skull there, and I feel like she's that, and it's glowing, and I feel like that's her boundary, her protection, and then she's waiting. So I like the skull.
So this card for me, because it's in my stack, so this is always a card that one of the cards I look at, but there is a show called Warrior Nun, and they have emblazoned in their body the halo, and this, so I am tattooed. I make no bones about it. Some people don't like it, some people do, and I don't care. But this reminds me of a spiritual stamping of like a tattoo of, and that this blazes to life when she's doing her magic. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I knew there was a reason why I liked it, but I needed Jamie to tell me why.
You knew there was a reason you liked me.
Rossi's saying Warrior Nun is a great show.
It is a great show. Yeah.
And hello to everyone coming in. Thank you for being here. We've got Nate here, the creator of this deck, if you are just joining us. So, Gerald, what about your card? There we go.
I am going to, because I'm hang on. Which one?
Do you want me to save you, Gerald? Because I know you'll do this group.
Oh, sure.
All the aces.
Yeah.
All of the aces, they are glorious.
Yes.
Glorious, glorious, glorious. This chalice, oh baby. But yeah, I like the staff that you guys chose.
I do too.
Yeah. yeah, and the points of light that she puts on cards are pretty amazing. This card, gosh,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, beautiful, 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 beautiful.
It like all the cards to me almost are like look like a roadmap.
Mhm.
Everybody's sort of like, here, let's go this way, or you're gonna go this way. You know what? I've got a candle for you. Follow me here.
Mhm.
It's
Let me
much-
light the way. Let me
Yeah.
light the way.
Yes.
That's an old Catholic thing. Let me light the way.
And these cards, there is so much light in them.
Mhm.
The one that I mean, that I also wanted to mention, for me, that was at the very beginning of the creation, and it really made it for me, is the Two of Cups. This Two of Cups,
Mhm.
the reason that I like it so much, it's because it is not the two people, it is one person and an angel.
Yes.
And that just does it for me.
Mhm.
I love that.
I get that too. Yeah.
There's a detail there, though, of what she has in her hands and everything.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah, there's so many little like Easter eggs. All
Yes.
over.
That's why I think this would not be good as a mini deck. That's why.
Yeah.
Yes. Another one that I like very much is the Seven of Cups, the cards of illusion, what you would like but you can't access. And this is with this one, she is cleaning the floors of probably a very, very beautiful mansion, and she's dreaming of being the princess, so to speak. This is what it says to me. And it, from the idea of the Seven of Cups, the dreams, the castle, like in the traditional Rider-Waite, where they come out of cups, and this is all the things that you can dream of. That's really what I wanted to recreate. Those hopes and dreams, and maybe one day she'll get there.
You know what I like about it?
What, Jaime?
She's not a little kid.
Yeah.
Because we do get into life, and here I am.
Yes.
I've got a month to go and I will be 57. And you do get along in life and you go, those are my dirty words. Do you know what I mean? And I like that. So dreaming should never stop. That's what this card says to me.
Yes.
It doesn't matter your age. She's not some little kid sitting on the stairs cleaning, dreaming, right? She has gotten to a point that in life that she's in the tween. She's not a tweener like a teenager, but she's still dreaming while she does her work, and she's still taking pride in her work.
Yes.
But she's still dreaming. Good choice, sir.
Yes.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Another fan favorite, I can call it this way, because I've heard this feedback a lot, is with the moon.
Oh yeah.
And this one is a fan favorite. Yeah.
Yeah. Mother Mary sitting on the moon. Yep.
Yeah, I don't like mom and kid cards very often. At all. This was one of the first cards that I saw that I went, oh, I like this because I know who she is. I know who she is. Do you see what I'm saying? So,
yes.
Yeah, I agree with that fan favorite.
Yeah.
You, with this card though, you miss a little bit the some of the traditional meaning of the moon that talks about hidden stuff, and but right.
But if you know her, there's still hidden stuff.
Hidden stuff. That's true. That's true.
So that, for me, in my personal opinion, still comes through. I don't think you need the damn lobster and the this and the that, because there is still the mysticism, the spirit, the all of that, what's on the other side?
Yeah.
Good point. Good point.
So
I have to bring
I
up
don't have any opinions though.
No, you don't
Five
have
of-
any opinions.
Mm.
I love the 5 of
Me too.
coins
Me
Been my
too.
favorite.
It's
because
yes.
I love the perspective. I also love what you wrote in the book about it, which is so. I was like going, oh, I didn't think. I was like going, ooh, that's good. That's really, really good. And no, I'm not going to tell everybody what it said in the book. So there.
You have to get the book and read it yourself.
I
Yes.
like that it doesn't have to be a mother. It can be a sister. It can be a guardian. It can
Yeah.
be anything, but there isn't, how do I explain it? You still get the meaning of the card, but you don't have, sometimes you get a real ugliness about this card. And
Yeah.
I see more hope
Oh,
Yes.
than I see desperation or
Desperation.
ick or ugh. And I
yes.
like that because this is how I read this card, even when I have imagery that doesn't please me with this card.
It clearly shows that times are tough, no doubt,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But there's so much hope. Yes.
They are walking toward the light instead
Yeah.
of the light having to come to them. It's much more of that. I think for me, the 5 of Pentacles is about the ability to offer help when you can and the ability to accept help. And we don't know if these 2 people are going in to offer help because they're, maybe they're the ones who are working in the food line or something like that, or maybe they're the ones that are that they need the help. And so it's really, really powerful. And I did say, I'm not going to tell them what it says. Well, I do want to but because you are offering the ability for us to see it from a different perspective, because but back in the 19th century, this card was known as a symbol of unity, marriage, and friends in need. It's like, hello, that's great.
And here's a detail in this card that my eyeball goes to after you go from so I know this is, so you've seen the moon card, right? And then you've got the moon up, and there are still the hidden things, what's on the other side. Am I getting through it, all of those things. And I get that from that little symbol being on the other side of that building, but illuminated.
Oh.
Another kind of like card where there was also kind of some thinking about is a 10 of Cups, 10 of Calices. This is a card in the Rider-Waite where, or in many decks, you don't actually see the face of the people. They're turning their back and they're seeing the rainbow and everything.
Yeah.
I've always wondered, I think this is a common discussion point where
this one,
yes, what if they're happy? What, we don't know the face they make. And so since on this card, we see this man and this woman obviously very happy, I wanted to counterbalance with the kids and the dog, where they have a different expression on their face to kind of counterbalance, because with the idea of the Rider-Waite, we don't always know. The little girl looks a little bit surprised, possibly scared. The boy seems a bit unsure, and then the dog can wonder what's really happening. I wanted to put people on edge a little bit.
Okay, so this is where my weird brain goes. I see those, so I see the expressions are different for me, and I see these as the children who had the vision of Fatima. Even
the same one as those, yes.
Yes, yes. So when I saw them, I was like, oh, these could be the vision, you know, how they had their synapses opened to the ether, to spirit, to all of those things that then they get down the road, and they are those children that have that visitation and that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Very true. Especially that, I mean, you're a dog person. You know dogs see spirits.
Yeah.
Cats
Oh, yeah.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. And
So-
to me, I love that the portal. That to me, it's a portal card.
Oh,
as well.
portal card. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a portal
100%.
card for me.
Mhm. Mhm.
What were you gonna say, Jamie? I'm so sorry.
No, I said 100%. I agree with you.
Oh yeah. All right, and next card. I don't want to keep Nate. Nate, is everybody okay? Because we're a little over an hour so far.
I'm good.
I am totally fine. I'm enjoying every second of it.
Okay, all right. Right.
The three kings and then Balthazar by himself. So I shared this with Gerald. I have cleared.
What are the three kings?
Oh, so sorry. The star and then
Oh,
the
yes.
coins. So I have cleared homes for people, and then I do a blessing that involves the three kings that is written with chalk that's been blessed, and it goes on doorways and windows and things like that. So when I saw this, it's yummy. It's yummy. And okay, I'm just gonna say it. He's not some white guy.
Mhm.
He's not from
Back
that
to the
children's Bible
representation.
that I had
I know.
in Catholic school.
Yeah.
And I got in trouble a lot because I would point out that certain people could not be
right back.
certain colors because of where they were
Yes.
from. And I got in trouble a lot. I got called to the Sister Bridget's office a lot. And my mom had to come down to the academy a lot because I was educated by my mother and I lived in third world countries as a child. And I loved these.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it was important for me as well. I actually want to kind of put you back into the creator or the author point of view. When I was associating the cards with the saints, when I got to the star, this was not an easy one.
No, I bet not. I bet not.
Because like which saint, which, there was no saint per se.
Mhm.
That was the star. That would have been odd.
Mhm.
And so the three kings represent, well, with the idea of the star,
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah, I like that. It's almost like I think I've already said this, but every card is leading me somewhere.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You know, people have their hands out. They're, we're following the three kings to the star. I mean, it's like this whole deck guides you.
Yeah, and Jane, this is a good segue for one of your favorite cards, which is also one of my favorite cards. Do you know which one?
Your ultimate favorite, Jamie? Ultimate favorite?
Ultimate favorite? No, but
No.
one of my favorites.
I don't know which one.
The Sun.
Oh, the sun. Yes, I love
Because of the very same reason for these two cards. Yeah.
the sun. He's in mine. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. See, I believe in him as a human being, and someone to admire. I don't look at him the way other people do, and I'm okay with that. But this is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the sun is the sun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's Jesus, basically, for the person who asked on the chat. Yes, Jesus.
Yeah. And I like it because he's going like this too. It's like we're seeing that he's opening up, but he's not just like he's being more of a student, he looks like to me.
Yes.
I like what Deanne says, ascended master or guide.
Exactly. That's what I consider him, as an
I'll
ascended
write that
master.
down.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely
Ooh,
ascended
yeah.
master.
Mhm.
All right. Gerald, what about you? Or do we want to say more about the sun, or move on to another card?
We can move on. Why don't
What
you
about this?
go ahead, Nate?
Oh, I wanted to know your feedback regarding this one.
Oh,
It's in my favorites.
Yeah. Right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one too. Again, it's like her hand is out and she's sort of like, just come with me. I will guide you to this next phase. That's the way I feel. That's just the way I feel. I don't know how you
Yeah,
feel.
this is death, la muerte.
Muerte or Santa Muerte. Yes.
Yeah.
The flowers, the mist, the ethereal opening, the scythe, the colors used, the hand of. Now, this is how I read the hand. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I see her hand. But their hand, actually, I'm okay with it being anything. But yes.
Yeah. And Rossi's pointing out another portal. She has a portal behind her. We're portal people, Nate, just so you know.
I love it.
Some of us are. All right.
Yeah, Miss Charlotte, right this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. I have one of the things that, where are my cards? I'm so sorry. I'm a mess over here. Okay, I've got to point out two cards that I was curious about, that I love, but I'm curious about them. And that is because it's the Seven of Staffs, because it's got like, is that a maze or a labyrinth or whatever?
Labyrinth.
A labyrinth, and then it's got a dragon. We have a dragon, and I love
favorite card.
Is it your favorite card?
This is I love a labyrinth.
Mm-hmm.
So this is in my cards too.
Yeah, and the King of Swords, Saint George, he's slaying. It's almost like, I don't know if that is his guide, the person with him, or if he's because I haven't read the book, because I'm an intuitive reader.
Yeah,
and I kind of like to do that, but I do have the book and I have read some things, but I'm more intuitive. So
yeah, Saint George was the slayer of dragons, though.
Yes.
Okay, see, you know about all the saints. I don't know the saints. I wasn't brought up that way, to, like I said, like we've said in the chat, to me they're like ascended masters.
Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah, but those are two cards. So the choices there, Nate, with the dragons. I mean, I understand the one now, but why the dragon in the flying over in the labyrinth? What is the significance?
Actually, I don't remember this one.
That's
actually don't.
I like honesty. That's fantastic.
You know what? I think it's one of those little Easter eggs that were thrown in that it just makes me happy in my heart.
I love the mythical creatures that you've included. Again, it takes the religiosity and kind of tosses it. Even if you don't have the book, the big book, you can just kind of take that and shit can it. You can say,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. All right. So we talked about that. What about what do you guys have up next that you?
Hang on, I'm marking off the Seven of Staves. So
overachiever. Hashtag overachiever.
Yes.
I will make this guy a little bit lower his status a little bit by calling him Franny, just because he's my friend. The world, St. Francis. I love Franny. I love my dogs have worn St.
Yes.
Francis medals on their collars. I've taken my animals to church to have them blessed. I've done the whole, St. Francis, good old Franny.
Yeah. I love the look on his face.
Mm-hmm.
He just
He's-
like
Yes.
it's like, look at all of this. He's
Mhm.
in it. He looks like he's in wonder and awe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, of course.
Yep.
You know, I mean,
The
he's-
one thing, the thing that was very important for me, and we really did, we've worked on this card multiple times. I wanted that the circle of flowers around him be a bit stronger to remind ourselves of the traditional, the traditional cycle, etc. The end of a cycle, beginning of a new one. And so I really wanted that to somewhat pop, to add the meaning to the saint. And so we did this circle just in nature with flowers. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the blessing here in the corner of the card.
Yeah.
yeah,
This is
and I also noticed, and I don't know saints, so maybe this is a well-known fact, but I love that he's, what do you call this when you
Stigmata.
the stigmata. I love that he's got the world, he's got that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But so maybe that's just Saint Francis has that, but
There are lots. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, and the Beth is saying, yeah, the world card has a star vibes for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Agreed.
Well, since we're at the end of the major arcana, I have a judgment because it is Gabriel. I have a working relationship with Gabriel, so I was like going, Gabriel, I, maybe saying too much. I know this angel as Gabriella, but that's okay because that's the nature of the angel, the archangel. So I love that. I mean, let's put it right out front instead of it being on the side.
Yes.
It's like, boom, let's give them credit to where credit is due.
Mm-hmm.
So we were announcing. So love me some of that. So
You want my last two favorite cards since you're at the end?
sure, Jamie. Of course.
The Tower and the Wheel. Those
Yeah.
are my absolute favorite cards. Because Nate, you had said absolute favorite. There are two. So the Wheel, which is St. Catherine, and then the Tower.
Yeah.
I never thought I would hear Jamie say that a tower is one of their favorite cards.
Which is a lie, because it's the first card I look at in every single deck.
Mm.
Yeah, but I didn't say it was your favorite.
Okay. Well, fair. But I do, because I like, you have to have, again, purchase responsibly. Don't buy it because we're talking about it. For these two cards, I feel that you have to have the book and not the guidebook, because the guidebook, you have the secrets book. St. Catherine.
Yeah.
So there you go.
All right. And Gerald, what about you?
Oh goodness.
Or do you want to just show cards?
Well, I mean, here's a couple of things. I appreciate the Two of Swords because that's a very nice perspective.
Yes.
And I like the Three of Swords. Okay, so as I was
I've never heard that before, someone who likes the Tree of Swords, but
well,
I
I like
very
the
well done
version of it because it is
Yes, yes.
extremely well
Yes.
done. It is not the typical let's stab the heart. So it really gives us an understanding of what's going on.
Mhm.
And here's the thing. I actually wrote down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 swords as I was looking at them, and I was like, well, that's pretty good, because I also appreciate the 4 of swords, because the
Mhm.
4 of swords is the card of needing rest, needing some meditation, thinking about things differently. This
Mhm.
draws that out, Nate. I think that's beautifully done.
Yeah.
Beautifully done.
Yeah, your
Um,
suit of swords is excellent.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
it's well done. And hello, let's talk about the 6 of swords.
Mhm.
Oh,
I love that because it's like that one main sword up there is sort of guiding them.
Mhm.
Mhm.
They're
Yeah.
guided to that sword.
and information in the book is really quite good. This is so, I mean, yeah, it's like holy mackerel. So good on you. Good
Mhm.
on
Thank you.
you, and good on the artist for being able
Mhm.
to
Certainly,
translate that.
it's one thing to have the idea, but the representation of the idea, and like I said, we didn't even speak that much because of the language, and it's quite a miracle, literally, that this was what I had in mind, but I could have not really explained as meaning any
Yeah.
words. It just happened, and it's. Just imagine when you create the deck, and you go back and forth, and every week I would receive a draft, or and
Mhm.
so every time I could be at the grocery store, I got an email with a draft, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop where I am. I'm just gonna, and my heart would like just
Mhm.
go very fast, like, how is this gonna look like? Because and so I would just click, and I was like, that's exactly how I could
Yeah,
see it.
I hope that you tell Christina how
Yes, please.
how moving her artwork is in combination with your vision and words.
Yes.
I
Yes.
really do.
Yeah, it's beautiful because it makes me think of that artist, but not because nowhere near. But I love the way she uses light.
Yes.
Yes.
There's a lot of light in the cards. I'm just gonna throw up 2 cards that I really like because I just think they're great. And one is the 9 of Swords.
Mhm.
I love her because she's sitting there, and it's almost like she's smudging. I need to read the book, but it's like, yeah, she has this anxiety, but she's smudging. She's
Yes.
sitting there going, I'm smudging. And then I like this guy. He
That
is
was in my
so bored.
That was my last one. Yes.
He is so bored. He's
Oh,
just
yeah.
like, he does not, he's just like, he's like a cat.
Mhm.
Yes.
He's very much like a cat, like where he's just nonchalant. Yeah,
Meh.
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 I'm like,
Meh.
I love him.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah.
And,
I would point out one that was a little bit of a aha moment, a little bit for me, and I feel like I can share this. It's with Temperance and Santa Cecilia,
Mhm.
and working with saints. For those of us we work with saints, it's very easy for some of them to even go back to even the religious side. For example, you're looking for something to be resolved quickly, you work with Saint Expedite. It's the traditional meaning of a Saint Anthony, it's for marriage, or babies or whatnot. So they all have their kind of like, is the person for this, is the person for that. And then I've actually always loved Santa Cecilia. I love music. I was playing in an orchestra. We always played for Santa Cecilia feast day. But for a long, long time, I thought, what is her purpose? you petition or you pray the saint for something, and some of this stuff is obvious. For a long time with her, I couldn't figure out what is her place, what is her role. And then at least for me, it one day it really made sense. The notion of music, and the point here is that music is harmony, musical harmony, but harmony of all of us together. And so it's like peace and harmony. And so that, I'm sharing it because it's not the most obvious one, but once you get that, it's actually so powerful.
Yes, that's true.
And it has
and the idea of temperance is the idea of harmony. And patience, and going with the flow. But it's exactly that. And so she's very special for me.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
I like how you can read into the card, find your creative balance.
Yes.
Yes. And I just wanted to point out that Joan of Arc does show up as the Queen of Swords. And I love Joan of Arc, so I was so happy to have Joan of Arc in this deck. I was like, yes.
I have that one marked too, and Rossi brought that up. So.
Yes, I saw. Yes, Rossi was bringing that up, and I just love that, and I think this. I like this Eight of Staffs too. It's like a messenger. What is that? A hawk? I don't know what it is, and I need to read the book. This is why I'm here. Because...
Eagle, I would say. No. No. Is it an eagle? I don't know.
It could be a golden eagle. It could be a larger hawk. I'm the wildlife person. My only critique about the card is lower your arm, Chicky. You don't have your arm up that high to catch because you but it's a beautiful card.
Yeah, I really like it.
Falcon, plucky. Yeah, Falcon would be a
Could be.
It's kind of a conglomeration a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, and then I just like this guy. I don't. The five of swords, and I don't. Walk me through the. Is that lavender?
Lavender, yes.
So, it's almost like you've taken all this, you've done this, but at what cost? And he looks like he's a little sad that for his own greed, he lost things in using his own greed. So I don't. But
the sadness after the moment when you realize what you've done, and so it has the dimension of the act that happened and the sadness.
Yeah, and the sadness. So I really like that. Is there, and because we're coming up on 1.5 hours, so we should probably skedaddle. But is there anything how about any last words on the deck? And then,
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Something that I would mention, 2 things that I would mention, 3. Well, the first one is the most obvious. It's such more than an honor. It's just been really amazing for me to connect here with you, with the audience, because it's such a long, doing this type of work. It was my first time. Doing this is a very solitary work, except with the artists where you work hand in hand. But it's the difference of being very alone in this, and then obviously sharing with friends and family, like, what do you think of the cards? But it was, and so how amazing it is just to the ability to share with a large group. So thank you, and just thank you for having me. The second thing is that I have opened on the Etsy store the ability to print any of these on posters, on frames, on
Oh,
and
nice.
so I have started to play with this because there might be people who are genuinely interested to have a piece on a ceramic on, and so I've started to play with this. If anyone want, because I own the design, want this on a particular physical product, I'm more than happy to do it in one of those combinations with as a poster, as a frame, as anything. And then the third thing is that I am working on another project with Christina.
And oh my
Yay.
God, that's great.
That's exciting, and I'm so very happy. And also, that comes. I've noticed in the deck there is a card here for you have 38 meditation files.
Yes, we haven't talked about this at all. It hasn't really resonated. I have to find a way to insert because the project was just too ambitious between the book, the cards. I just thought too big, but there are really good meditations that are being recorded. And I think they're really great. They haven't really found their audience yet, but all the saints have a specific meditation attached to them with music. And someone that I've worked with, actually, I haven't mentioned it, it's from South Africa, and he was also part of the project. But this is something that I'm planning to highlight a bit more. People have been so much into the cards and the book, but there's also this layer. The idea was it was a multimedia project, audio and photo.
Okay, thank you.
Can I put that up there like that so that
Yes.
people can see it?
Yeah, and it's also for sale. I think it's like a few dollars per meditation, or there's it's reasonable. And you basically have like a 5 to 10 minute meditation for the saint, and it allows you to add in the meditation what you want to manifest. There's space in the meditation where you actually can, yes.
And Plucky is asking, is the artwork on Etsy a PDF download?
No, it's not, and I would not do that because I want to keep the rights of the designs. But I am experimenting with different physical impressions, and I haven't done all the different products on 7-8 cards. So you can email me and I say I would really love a poster with these, then I'll do it.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I saw a Mary Magdalene pillow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it has gotten so much interest. There's an oval pendant, there's jewelry, there's there's jewelry boxes, and
that's nice.
Yes. I think you can, the possibilities are endless, but it's on the physical product side, lots of requests for Mary Magdalene, Death, La Muerte, the devil, and also I believe the magician Saint Cyprian.
Yeah, again, we didn't, and we got to go. Well, we didn't talk about the 8 of Pentacles, or the which I thought was a fascinating card myself.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah,
please.
We do this again because we didn't get through it all.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I think we need to do this again. Nate, are you on board? Can we do this?
Yes, I would love to. Yes, of course. Maybe round 2 and advance. Yeah.
We have to do it again, and because there is so much to talk about, and there is so much involved in this. And I think for your first deck that you created, I am in awe.
It's well, your first deck, and I would say your first book, because there'll be the expansion coming. No pressure or anything like that. Maybe.
I'm okay with that. Pressure. The additional 100 pages. Come on, man.
Yeah. Because the other thing is there are in each of them, for the cards, we have an overall theme, we have a detailed meaning, and then we have use for the card for rituals and manifestation purposes. You give us spreads that
Yes.
are quite nice.
Yeah.
And one of the great things is you show the relationship question, but then in the book you give us an example of what that looks like.
Yeah.
So you know, and then there's some magical index.
Yes.
I love an
That-
index.
I was just looking at this. It's like it has everything, like the element, the magical element or saint, and you know, this has got all the moonstones, the saints, the
Two.
candle magic. We need to do it. We just need to do a 2. Okay, everybody, we're doing a 2. Come back.
I'm poking at you, Nate. Poke.
Yeah, yeah.
Two.
We want a part 2, Nate.
We will. We will.
Yay.
Okay, and
All right,
thank you.
Don't go anywhere, Nate. When she ends, don't go anywhere.
Yeah, yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you. And
Thank you.
yeah, and the shuffle is fantastic.
It's a good shuffle, everybody. So
Yeah.
know your limits, purchase responsibly. We're here to share, not to sell.
Yeah, but look at how it
No.
shuffles. Look at, maybe we could do a collective ritual. Wouldn't that be interesting? That might be a, you know, a powerful thing. It's, you know how they have the power of 8.
Yeah.
We can do something with this. So
Of
everybody,
It's the power of Nate.
like I said, I love it. I love it. And I'm really like, I need another deck. So if I could put it on my Etsy, if I could put a wish list, I would.
Yeah, and so then what we can do is in part 2, you can taunt us a little bit more, Nate, about your upcoming project without giving any secrets away.
Yes.
Okay.
We're not pressuring you for secrets. I'm pressuring you for taunting us.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Okay. Yes. No.
Speak for himself. I'm gonna.
Yes. Well, what I can tell you is the new project. It's completely, totally different. Totally different.
Love it.
Yes.
And on that note, thank you all for being here. Thank you, Nate. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Gerald. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Yes, best chatters. Thank you all for being here.
Next
Thank
Tuesday.
you.
Oh
Next Tuesdays with Tarot Stash, exclusively on Jane the Secret Tarot.
we will be using this deck. That'll be so much fun. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I normally say be kind, be love, and just be.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.